What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What's up?
Welcome to season 3 of the podcast formerly known as the Cutmaster Cast. My name is Chris Romero,
My name is Tony Pacheco.
And what's up, y'all? It's Victoria.
and we are 3 DJs out of Albuquerque, New Mexico with Cutmaster Music. And welcome to our new rebrand. And it is called What's on the Playlist.
What's on the playlist?
What is on the playlist? Oh, thank you.
Woo, love it.
Love it.
Thank you.
And what a great intro that is, right?
Right.
Like our song is fantastic.
Shout out AI, man.
That's
Yeah.
Tony. That's Tony.
Yeah.
That's
I
Tony's
was-
voice. You didn't know that Tony had many talents. One of those is singing
Song
jingles.
jingle making. That's a lot of money in jingle making.
That's-
I've seen
There
it.
is.
Yeah.
There is a ton
But
of
I
money.
can't do that.
That's right. So let's talk about this. And moving forward, we are doing a complete rebrand. So we are no longer going to be the Cutmaster Cast. We thought, we've evolved over these last few years,
Mhm.
and it's time to move the show in a new direction. And so we are basically looking to kind of just consolidate, be a little bit more efficient with our time. We're adding in a new voice. Welcome Victoria as a
Woo-woo.
permanent
Yeah.
Host.
host to the show.
Yeah.
So we're really making it a true, pod, and I don't know, we're just looking to evolve and take it and progress and go next level with
Yeah.
it, right?
I think our choices behind this was to not only like you said, condense it or make it a little more efficient, but yeah, make it efficient for us as well. That way we can more consistently deliver episodes and make sure that the content is still quality, but you're hearing it from DJs who are kind of in the weeds of it, week to week, and we can give you guys tips, tricks, hacks, all that fun stuff, but yeah, in a more condensed way, and have another third perspective, a female perspective.
Yeah, I think we need a female. You always need yin and yang in the relationship, and we need balance.
Yes.
Balance. So we're bringing balance
To the
with-
pod.
To the pod.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
that's the goal.
And so let's talk a little bit about the name. What's on the playlist? Let's chat about how the great minds at the table came up with this.
We sat here for an hour and thought, what do we name this thing?
Yeah.
We were like, what do we call this new show? And
It's pressure.
and we wanted something like, we still want to focus on the industry, the wedding and event industry. That's still our primary focus here. But we were looking for it not to be so much Cutmaster Music branding, and really to be able to take this in many different directions, right? So we're not just focusing on music. And that's something that's going to be new with the show as well. So we're doing away with the whole segments. I know fan favorites were,
Grab bags.
grab bag, back to the music and all that. And we're still going to have fun. So that's one thing that's not leaving is kind of the cheese balliness,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of us. But we wanted to just really kind of focus in and, do something new with it. So I think we're still planning on giving you awesome tips, tricks, hacks,
Yep.
but we're also going to have guests. That's a big part of the show as well. In fact, this season we are planning on bringing in some new voices, so stay
That's
tuned
right.
with that. And really, that's what it's about. Just kind of going next level, but also just be able to pick a topic, center the show really around that.
Mhm.
We are going to start off our episodes as we have in the past, talking about our events, because we want to give the local element and talk about what's happening in and around our events here.
I
in our
love
world.
starting the pod that way. It kind of helps the general flow of conversation go, and it's always good that way.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so we've got some new stuff for 2025.
Yeah, I like this because it's not going to be so overwhelming, and it'll still be probably around 45 minutes to an hour.
Mhm.
But the nice thing about this episode is that the content will be more centralized on one topic per episode. So you get more kind of meat and potatoes as opposed to just kind of tidbits throughout the in-betweens. And I like this structure because I think every episode will have just a little bit more value in that,
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kick it off. Let's talk about. I mean, today we're almost through with February, so we haven't had a chance to get on
Yeah.
because we've been planning this whole new rebrand. But let's talk about our recent events. Basically from the start of the year. For us here at Cutmaster, it's pretty much what we call the dry season. It's not a whole lot going on. I know you guys though. I know Victoria. You've been doing some nightlife, right?
Yeah, lots of nightlife. That's all it's been these past 2 months, January and February. Ton of nightlife stuff. I was actually playing in Denver this weekend. At an
Ooh, how was
event.
that?
That was fun. That was really, really fun. Lots of kind of EDM type music,
Sure. It's a
remixes.
bass-heavy city.
Exactly. So it was very fun. The people out there are really nice, and we just enjoyed it. We made a trip out of it. So that was cool. But yeah, everything has just been nightlife these past 2 months, and then of course booking things for September,
That's booking
October,
season.
November.
That's
So
what this is.
This is the booking season for
it,
sure.
it's been hot with the bookings. So
Everybody got engaged over the holidays, and
Exactly.
then now life kind of comes back, and you're like, okay, what do we need to do? Where do we need to
Yeah.
book? And a lot of times, the people who hit us up are, we're one of the first vendors that they've chosen. Next
exactly.
to like venue, I feel like it's venue,
Photographer.
photo. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And actually, throw in the comments, you guys. I'd like to hear from you, wedding, especially like the planners out there, photographers, videographers. Like, how are your bookings looking right now? Is it up? Is it down? This is something we can maybe talk about, even getting into trends and whatnot, which is what we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Mhm.
But we're not really seeing the downtick. That I feel like I've been hearing across the industry in general.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see what you all are out there, seeing as well. We had an event a couple of weeks ago, and it's really been our only event with Cutmaster Music. We had a corporate event with Nusenda.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
And
great. Yeah.
shout outs to Nusenda. I mean, we did their holiday party here in Albuquerque. We did their holiday party with their new branches down in El Paso. That's the first time I had done anything down there. Had a good time with that. But then they called us back for they call it their P4P event, which is kind of just getting their people together and talking about how well they did last year. They kind of share numbers and things like that. And it's a fun gathering for, the company.
It's a good way to like be transparent, figure out how to progress, go forward. It's kind of like how we do it as well. We'll do a yearly thing,
Yeah.
not only with us, but just all around how to get a pulse on the overall businesses and everything. And so I think it's good.
Yeah, and they were doing a transition with their CEO from they're moving.
Oh,
They have a new CEO that's
Yeah.
taking over
that's
from.
big.
I can't remember how long the previous had been there, but it was like something like 30 or 40 years or something like that.
Dang.
Yeah,
Wow.
like a really long time.
Long time.
So that was cool, and they had a fun like game show type theme that they were doing with
I remember
it.
walking in on that and you playing Prices Right.
I was
or
playing
something.
Yeah.
Price is Right stuff, but they had. It was fun, and it was at Revel, so
Nice.
it was in the big
Yeah.
concert space there, which that was my first time being up on the stage. And for those of you, so if you go and see a concert at Revel, first of all, that place is awesome. I love the sound. I love what they do there. But if you get a chance, go to the very front of like almost where the stage is and look up and behind you and check out the mural that they have on the wall up there.
It's beautiful.
It is
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so cool. And I like how they did that because honestly, like that mural is for the artists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's for the artists to look up there and see all their just like your heroes, right? Your music
Legends,
heroes,
yeah.
legends.
It's such a random spot to put a mural, but it works so well there. And the colors
Yes.
on it, it's just so. I've never seen anything like it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I thought it's super cool.
And
Do
I
we
think-
describe
I
what it
think
looks
is
like?
cool.
Or do we let them see it?
Yeah, what Chris is saying, like it really is for the artist.
Yeah.
Like it is for, when you hop up on that stage to do your thing, like seeing a bunch of legends up there like
Yeah,
that.
go ahead and describe it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, me?
Yeah,
The
That's
guy?
all
Okay.
you.
So it's basically a bunch of popular artists from how early does it go?
I mean, I saw Johnny Cash on
Right?
there.
Exactly. From like
David Bowie.
1940
Hendrix.
to now. Right? Even Al Hurricane's in there, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Oh, that's cool.
but there's maybe 50 like
Yeah.
popular artists,
Yeah.
and it's just a cool, beautiful mural. I've loved seeing it being painted and done throughout the years because we've done a lot of work in there, and so to see where it was being drawn and where it's done now, it's taken quite some time, but he did it right, and they
Yeah.
didn't rush him.
And I was
it's
going to
awesome.
say that with the space in general, like they have transitioned that space to be so incredible
Yeah.
for talent to go and do their thing. Like
Yeah.
they've completely transformed it to be really, really cool.
Mhm.
Super cool.
Love
So
Revel.
shouts to Revel. And then so we provided a few different services. I was an onstage DJ for them, and they did like just a lunch, and then they did their thing, and then afterward they had some activities. Like there was a bunch of inflatables in there for
Yeah.
them to mess
Yeah.
around with. We had a photo booth for them in the main room, and then we had a silent disco, which is where we brought you all in, and DJ Joe. And we did the silent disco, and I didn't know how it was going to go or how well received it was going to be, but I went in there to kind of check in and see how things were going, and it was rocking.
Oh,
with
yeah.
you guys in
Yeah,
there.
it was fun.
Way better than expected.
Yeah.
It's a midday thing on a Sunday. We had gotten some intel that maybe not everybody wanted to be there
Yeah.
because it was a work function. So there was a lot of like stuff that we were like, well, we're here to DJ. Let's go for it.
The
And so-
expectations were pretty low, right?
Yeah, they were.
yeah, but
yeah.
it was nice when everybody was able to come in and they all had their own little channels. We were all DJing our own little vibes, and it was just so fun to see people. I love seeing silent discos when they're thriving because
Yes.
it's everybody's screaming their hearts out, but it's silent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just
Yeah.
fun.
And it's fun for us as DJs because there's like a little competition going on, right? It's
For
like
sure.
to try to get everybody. So for those of you that have never done a silent disco, the way it works is we have 3 different DJs playing 3 different styles of music.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the headphones, you can switch the channels between the 3 different
Yeah.
DJs at your
Yep.
leisure. And so it's kind of cool for the DJs to be doing the 3 different styles and then seeing who can get the most headphones on the green
Sure.
channel or the
Yeah.
red channel
Yeah.
or what are they playing on blue? Why is everybody on the blue channel?
Sure, yeah.
Definitely.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What I liked is what we did towards the end of the event is we gradually turned our channels down. So I stopped mine, then Joe stopped his, and we
Yep.
got everybody on Victoria's channel at the very end.
Yeah.
And it allowed them to have a unifying moment where they were all just like singing, dancing. I think it was Poison.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, you-
it was Poison. Yeah.
And they all had like a dance circle,
Yep.
one person in the middle, and that's what it's about, creating these moments, memories where
Exactly.
people leave thinking like, I was actually a blast. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And that was one of while I was DJing, my vibe was party vibes. That's what I was on. So I was kind of playing more upbeat, up tempo stuff. But then when I realized like I was starting to see the demographic that was switching to my channel.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, what's party vibes to them?
Mm-hmm.
Poison, all these raw
there wasn't
bass,
anybody like
stuff
the
like
90s
that.
30,
hip-hop.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. 30 or younger.
Yeah.
35 or younger. It was an older crowd, but
Exactly.
even then, it was perfect.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
yeah, so to give you an idea, like we had, so Victoria had the party vibes. What were
Had
you
top
playing?
40.
So
Sorry.
Tony had top 40, and then Joe, I believe, had country and Latin
Mhm.
Yes.
music going on his channel. So it's super fun.
But it's good. You see these people with like in these little pockets of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was a Latin country vibe like right there, and they were all jamming. There was a old school vibe, a top 40 vibe, or not an old school, but like just a party jam. You know what I mean? And everybody's like, this
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah.
Totally, lots of fun. So if you guys need a silent disco for your event,
Let us know.
call Cutmaster Music. Let us know. And
Got the headphones.
yeah, it's super fun. So we are going to move into now the main part of the show.
Basically, our topic for today.
Yeah, and really
Yeah.
that's what it's going to be. We're going to focus in, and we decided that we wanted to start off 2025 with trends and talk about maybe the trends that we're expecting to see in 2025, and I'll look back at some of the trends from 2024 that maybe are they going to keep going or
Yep.
are they on the outs?
Definitely.
So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Were you able to pull up? I didn't have a chance to go back and look at the 2024
No.
trends.
The only one I remember is bouquet toss.
Yeah.
So
So
we've done this episode twice already, and we're supposed to go back into the episodes and look for what trends.
oh,
Hey,
that was weird. My
wild.
my board just
It pushed 2 buttons at once.
Yeah.
that was kind of
It was weird. Either way, we wanted to look at past trends and see what they were. I remember seeing one where I was looking and hoping for bouquet tosses and garter tosses to be on their way out.
Yes.
So I'm thinking it's still
I'm still seeing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Garters are done.
Yeah. Completely.
I don't think I did a garter last year.
I don't think I did either.
I may have done one. I'm trying to I don't want to just count it out, right? But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did maybe one.
Yeah, and it seems like when you talk to couples about garter specifically, it's like
It's cringe.
it's cringe.
Oh,
Yeah, they you can just tell instantly that they're not into it. They're
Yeah.
like, no, absolutely not.
I know I've been seeing a lot of bouquet dedications.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
what they'll do is they'll dedicate and shout out mom. Mom of the bride usually gets no love on wedding day.
Yeah,
They don't get a lot of recognition is what I mean. And so it's nice for them to have a moment.
For sure.
And it does stop momentum in your overall party day. But if you're able to play a soft song and incorporate something and
Definitely.
create that, I think it's if it's important to them,
yeah.
I think that's super
Definitely.
helpful. But yeah, and then also too, like, no single ladies for bouquet toss.
No.
I've been pushing, invite all women out onto the dance floor,
Yep.
and whoever gets it gets good luck. And a lot of my brides have been buying into that as well because it's just more inviting to have all of your ladies out there. You got Man, I Feel Like a Woman, Shania Twain going, all your girls
Exactly.
out there. And it's not as pressurized. It's just kind of more fun.
Yeah, and it allows all the ladies to be out there rather
Grandma,
than, singling out a
auntie.
few. And then you don't know, if there's going to be unmarried or how many there's going to be. Sometimes
Yeah.
they've wanted me to do unmarried instead of just like single in general, and then there's like 2 people.
Yeah.
So it kind of really, really, really singles out, and in this way, you're not singling anyone out, right? It's everyone.
So true.
Yeah. So I think one of the trends last year was the downsizing of like the wedding parties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So and I would say that is going to continue on.
I'm seeing it.
I agree with that.
Into 2025. We're
80
just.
to 100, I'm seeing is the sweet spot
Me too.
nowadays.
Yeah.
I saw a trend last year of, excuse me, doing away with kind of like grand entrances, and more of my couples mixing in with cocktail hour
Mhm.
and then just kind of coming in.
Yeah.
So not to say that they were completely rid of that's not the case at all, but I did see more
It
of.
happened to me a few times where they just wanted to walk in with their guests and
Yeah.
just kind of enter and mingle, and then we went right into welcome. Bless
Well, I noticed like a lot of them are doing their pictures beforehand.
Yeah.
So they're getting those done and out of the way, and then they want to come in and mix in during cocktail hour and enjoy that time with
Might
their
as
guests.
well.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like, you're spending all that money, and I get it, you want to entertain them, and that's kind of the time, and that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But if you and your photography team are down, and to be efficient, get those photos done. I see that a first look will be done pretty commonly to do that
Exactly,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I
So-
think I thought I was reading a trend, or maybe this might have been like Mara Jane or somebody that was talking about how they push for to do a first look.
Yeah.
That was a big push to have that moment and to do that. So, what about like a music wise? Trends. Anything that you all saw like as trends with when it came to music last year?
I've been seeing just a ton of like I have this on here as well, like rave forward weddings.
Yeah.
I've had so many couples that I've talked to and they're super into raves. They love going to EDC, they love going to festivals,
Mhm.
and they want to bring that to their wedding.
Yeah.
So we're shying away from the traditional Uptown Funk, Return of the Mac type wedding songs
Mhm.
and going into like really EDM forward house music,
Definitely.
even just really hardcore stuff that I've
Mhm.
seen, which I like, right? Like it's really cool and really, really different, and it really brings who they are to their wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always ask them, what's important to you? What's going to give
Yeah.
you the most joy on your day? Sometimes it's making sure all of my guests are out there on the dance floor and I'm out there too, but we're all having fun. And or on the other end, it's like making sure all of my favorite songs are being played because I want to be on the dance floor having fun,
Yeah.
right? Both of those have their own little lanes. And I love that people are just kind of owning it more, like
Exactly.
this is my day. I'm going to do what I want to do. And it's just kind of like not worrying about other people's. I guess you want to, like, the experience is up there, right?
Yep.
But you can tie in both things.
I agree
what I mean?
100%. And there was an actual wedding that I did, and we did this exact same thing, and they had me do the first 2 hours was the traditional
Yeah.
New Mexican wedding,
That makes
country,
sense.
hip hop, R&B type stuff.
Mhm.
And then the last 2 hours was a ton of
Rave.
EDM, total rave. Like they even brought out glow sticks. They
Love
were like
that.
doing the whole thing.
It-
And it was interesting because more people got out on the dance floor when we switched over to the rave than when we played the traditional,
Yeah.
Spanish country hip hop type
See,
vibe.
that's where it's crazy because sometimes
Yeah.
they don't even know their guests.
No,
You know what I mean? They're
absolutely.
like
And
they think, oh yeah, old school for a little while, and it turns out they didn't even need it.
exactly.
Right.
No, for
No,
sure.
and I think that actually leads into what we saw more of last year was the after parties.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I think that also is probably going to continue. That we saw more after parties last year than I think we had ever previously done.
totally.
Yeah.
And it kind of that sort of thing, either doing what you mentioned, making the last hour really super high energy, turn it up,
Definitely.
make it feel like an after party without it being an
Yep,
actual
yeah.
after party,
Yeah,
or people doing after party where we had them at Hotel Albuquerque, literally
Yeah.
going over to Casa Esencia, right?
Mhm.
Like to a completely different spot with a different vibe and different DJ.
Yeah.
We would provide
Exactly.
different DJs over there. So I think I feel like that might continue on into 2025 as well.
I
After
think so.
parties,
Yeah.
and then live artists. It's alive and well.
Yep. I agree with that. I agree with
I was
that.
telling Chris that I'm looking for a saxophonist here locally.
Yep.
I've reached out to like 3. I gave the guy at my Mango Cakes my card. No one wants to hit me up, and I'm like, dude, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
Please, anybody, if you're a saxophonist in Albuquerque, New Mexico, hit me up.
There it is. We're throwing the
I've
vibe.
also
We're
seen
throwing the vibes out there for it.
drumming as well, like
Drumming
with
is
the drum
dope.
with the drum pad. You know, it's a DJ and then they got the drummer
That's
who's
nice.
on the pad,
Yeah,
and just
be
adds
fun.
like a fun little, extra little oomph to the music.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
seen like Kygo or even
Yeah.
James Hype now with
Yeah.
his little sync DJ?
Yep.
Yep.
That's cool. But I
Yep.
like how Kygo, when he's doing it, it's like boop boop boop. Or we saw Porter Robinson
Yeah.
where he was hitting each, and so it's like the physical visual is
Yeah, and
delivering.
they're each lighting up.
Yes,
Definitely. Yeah.
that's cool too.
It's pretty cool. So, all right.
But
so
yeah, we also got Rachel too. I didn't want to forget Rachel and her violinist talents because
Yeah.
we've got
She's
her
great.
booked at least for 2 weddings this year.
Nice.
I do. So.
So let's get into what we are either reading or seeing or hearing about trends going into 2025. We've discussed some of the stuff that we personally saw and experienced in 2024. And, I personally, I went to brides.com to see what so I've got a list of a few things that they're
Nice.
expecting
Yeah.
for this year, but we can kind of go round table and take turns because
Love
we
it.
all did some research into
Yep.
this as to what the expectations are for 2025.
Definitely.
And for those of you out there that are listening, what are you seeing? What are you expecting for 2025? If you are not following Meredith Keating at Meredith Keating Events, she has a weekly Ask a Planner Monday
Mhm.
that she does, which is awesome because and I like to pay attention to that, particularly because that's going to tell us what people are asking for
Yeah.
What our
and
clients
seeing
are, yeah.
and what the trends are. So I'm interested to see what you all have come up with.
Definitely.
And but I wanted to mention that because if you really want to keep a pulse on what other couples are seeing, looking, and feeling out there, like every single Monday,
Mhm.
you can get a pretty good idea of with the questions that people are asking
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
who wants to start?
I could start for us.
What you got?
So something that I'm seeing going into 2025 is like unconventional color schemes.
Yes.
And I think those are gonna replace like the muted pastels that we've been seeing in 2024. I have been noticing like even, people I have worked with are starting to get away from the what do they call it, like millennial gray, or things like
Right.
that. Like
Mhm.
they're really starting to bring back vibrant colors.
Mhm.
So I think that's something we're gonna see a lot in 2025.
I actually saw the same thing.
Yeah.
And I did a blog post last week on Cutmaster Music and kind of scoured the internets and saw that exact same trend.
Yeah.
And an example of that too is like grooms not wearing black. And they're actually
Yeah.
going with a vibrant color, like a purple,
Yep.
or you kind of like what we have on the walls here, like a turquoise or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at possible like a forest green.
Yeah, I like
for your
that.
wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, someone's got a wedding coming up.
Yeah.
That's like a year and a half out. So
You're so 2026.
it's funny because we are so ahead. We have planner, venue, DJ, photo, floral. We have a lot done already,
Nice.
and I feel very confident to just like as long as we're good.
Yeah.
But now my priority is asking the groomsmen to be groomsmen, but I don't have to do that until like September.
Yeah.
So Tony's holding tryouts.
Yeah.
for groomsmen.
This
if
is
you,
all,
if you
this
li-
is all the test trial.
if you'd
Yeah.
like
These
to
couple months.
try out to be Tony's groomsman, meet us.
I have to come up with more. Sindra keeps throwing ladies at me, so she's like, I need another dude. Okay, that's fine. I have friends. It's good. I feel lucky to have friends.
He has
that I
15
Yes.
openings.
Yep.
He's got 15.
Right now
openings.
we're at 8, and I'm like, please stop.
Woo!
Ooh.
Well, I mean, 10's a lot. I've seen 8. Eight's
So,
great.
I don't know if you guys have thought this far. Are you guys wanting to do a big grand intro and things like
yeah,
that?
we know the song already. If you
Perfect.
guys have heard, we just found it this past weekend. Disco Lines did a remix of "Made for Lovin' You" by Kiss.
Oh, I love
Heard
that.
It's tasty. It just came out, and she showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And she's like, I like this for grand intro." Well,
Definitely.
it works for me. I'm not too picky on these types of things. I
Yeah.
know the energy and what needs to be done. Right.
Definitely.
If I know I don't like it, I'll let you know. I told her that.
Yeah.
But you give me the direction you want to go, and I'll give you my 2 cents. But I
Definitely.
hear where she's coming from, and she was a wedding DJ herself, so she
Yes,
knows
yeah.
why to pick these certain songs. She's not
Definitely.
going to pick them because it's important to her and not have other meaning behind it or some intentionality behind
Yes,
it.
for
So,
sure.
But it's funny that you asked that because literally this weekend or like Friday or it's
You
that's
guys
and
found-
and she was like, I like the drop of the second one, but the build of the first one. I was like, well, I'm a DJ.
yeah,
We can make that
we
edit
can- we
real
can
quick.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we're thinking about those things a little bit.
Cool.
But yeah, it's exciting. I think it's fun. It's hard to just chill out on planning because it's like so exciting.
Definitely.
And then we have a friend who's like planning too.
Mm.
Their wedding is June 2026, and they're like going crazy on planning. And
Yeah.
I'm like, we're ahead of them, but they make me feel like we're behind.
no, for
know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is you're in a race.
Our wedding's later, but our wedding is November 26th. Theirs is June. But then they're like asking questions that I'm like, why are you even thinking about that?
Yeah.
I get you're excited, but it's a year and a half out. Like we don't even have to process.
You
those
know what though?
Yeah.
So it's different, and you're like when you're in the industry, you have different perspective, right?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
there's a different energy with you and Syndra because you've been in the industry, you know how things work. Where most people, they've never done it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know how things
So
work,
true.
and then they're probably hearing from different angles too, which we tell our couples all the time, right? Like you can never start too soon, you know, and blah blah
Man,
blah, and
dude.
all that
Definitely.
I'm always pitching. Book me 2026.
stuff,
So
right? So
I get it.
So they're probably getting it.
You're
like
right.
we need to get this done. We need
For
to get
sure.
that done, and
That's
it-
so
yeah.
true.
So,
Okay.
but cool. Okay, so one that I saw that brides.com has their first one was they're expecting the trend of reduced guest counts.
Yep.
Yep.
So smaller, more intimate weddings.
It makes sense. You know, things are getting a little bit more pricey. And what we've seen in overall trends is that guests or couples are really buying into the overall experience of
Definitely.
the couple. And so with that, you may have to reduce your guest count to 150. We've heard it
Yeah.
from Meredith Keating on this pod. How do you reduce cost? The first way is to cut your guest count. It's
Yeah.
the hardest thing. And there's all these different DIYs that you think you can use to get around. And it's the hard truth of guest count. And so it
Definitely.
just makes sense that prices is going up and guest count is going down. But
Yep.
I think that with that said, though, people are still being intentional about all these different things, and I've seen it a lot on my trends on like stations. I'll talk about it a little bit more, but like investing into more of the experience
Definitely.
than just feeding 150 people.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that. I already saw that more so towards the end of last year, like doing different things during even just the reception to give different experiences. So an example was for those of you that saw my wedding at the end of December, they wanted to start their night off, the open dancing, with a Soul Train. And so we really set
Yep.
this up
Fire.
and set the stage with our pixel tubes forming the actual lane for people to stand outside. But it added this whole new dynamic with the lighting element on the dance floor,
Mhm.
and it made it
Yep.
feel like
And you had the disco ball.
we had the disco ball. I was just gonna say contemporary disco vibes,
Mhm.
right? And
That's cool.
it was such a moment, and things like that, and couples thinking outside the box and trying to provide these moments,
hmm
you know, that are just unique, right? So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see more of that.
I was talking about this with my couple on a planning meeting yesterday. What we're doing, and it's funny how the opportunity just presented itself. We're at Hotel Albuquerque
Yeah.
in the outside patio area. Grand intro. They want to do grand intro into first dance in the patio area and then have dinner outside out there. Great. What if we did grand intro into first dance into a dance party for 2-3 songs? You got already, the idea is they want the guests already there
Yeah.
to envision, to watch the grand intro into first dance. They're already circled around them. Why not play Dancing Queen ABBA and just have them go off for 1-2 minutes?
I love
And
that.
then you
Mhm.
have good opportunities. No one's tired at that moment. You got high energy, high vibes. They're ready to party for the rest of the day.
Definitely.
Good lighting for photos, and they were all about it. So I think I've been seeing that a little bit more of like dance parties that will begin before dinner even
Before, yeah.
starts. Very East Coast.
Yeah.
We did it. I did it twice last year, and when they were telling me the overall order of events, I was like, "Oh, how do you feel about this?" And they loved it, and so
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that yet, and I've been waiting for that trend to make its way.
it's dope. Just
toward us.
suggest it. Tell
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot more people don't even know that it's an option because it's so
Yes.
left field. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
Yeah, and
when we can give them our expertise, so go ahead.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say too. Something that I have like on its way out is the overly traditional weddings. Like, so that plays into what we're talking about now, right? Like, the structure has to be this way. You do your grand
Mhm.
intro, we do first dance, and then we go eat dinner, and then everything follows. Like, I've noticed a lot of couples are breaking away from that traditional wedding style.
Yeah.
And on brides.com, that was actually one of theirs as well,
Nice.
is
Yeah.
the trend of tradition-free weddings. So
Definitely.
I think we've definitely all have seen that, where we've got couples getting rid of a lot of bouquet tosses, garter tosses, money dances.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think even the games I'm seeing go away, like the shoe game and stuff like
I
that.
try to. I hate shoot. No, I guess it's fine. As an event person, I can do it for you if you
Yeah,
need. Right.
definitely.
But God bless, it's not fun.
No, and I this is one of the things that Meredith on hers gets asked about, and she absolutely loathes it as well, because it messes up with most of the wedding timelines.
Exactly.
Yes.
I try to explain. I try to paint the picture of what they see it on social and all this, and then I try to. Okay, let's get to that moment,
Yes.
and then nobody's there, no one's engaged, half the people can't hear it or something. You know what I mean? And it's just
Definitely.
I don't know. It's fine.
I mean, and the only
on its way
time,
out, it's fine.
the only times I've ever done it, and it's usually because it's this is the way I've suggested it during our planning meetings, is during dinner. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
if you're gonna
Yeah.
take 15, 20 minutes to do something like this, do it when you have finished eating and your guests are still eating. It gives them an entertainment element, but we're not taking up any time. Because
Definitely.
if you cut into your dance music, and how many times have we
Yep.
done weddings in the past? And I want to say like maybe 10 plus years ago, where your guests, you can just feel it in the room. They are so bored and they just want to dance, but we're eating, then we're doing a game, and then we're doing this, and then we've got all the formalities, and now we're going to do this anniversary dance. And
always
all
so nice.
they just want to party,
Yep.
and then people leave because they're just over it, you
It's-
know?
it's
Definitely.
so annoying when they come up to you and they're like, "Can we like get it going? Can we like
Right.
play some?" And you're like, "I have 3 separate things that we have to do before we
Yes.
can even think about
Yes.
it. I'm all on your team, but we have to do this dollar dance. We have to do this matcha.
Yep.
And it's just so frustrating when it's like I'm on your side."
And then you got to
agree.
think about the guests too. They've been there since noon. They've
Yeah,
been there
it's a
since
long
1,
day.
and it's already 11.
And
you
literally,
know? Like
you're making them sit
you're making them sit there.
for hours,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we're seeing those traditions, I think, go away, and I'm all for it.
For real. Just
Uh,
kind of streamlines the party. Let's get to the party. Let's get to the dance.
Yes,
You know.
definitely.
what you got, Tony?
Let's see. So right now I've got a fun one that I think I've been seeing it a little bit more, but it's going away with traditional table settings. So
Oh.
instead of having just your overall poster alphabetical list, they'll have like physical party favors. Maybe it's a Lego person that is like designed by them, or what else did I see? Custom tiles, bottle openers, playing cards, a little shot, a little
I love
shooter,
that.
and it has their name and it has all of that. So I've been seeing stuff like that, like making it more interactive and
Yeah.
and
And
more.
And you're
of-
talking about in exchange for like a name card.
Yes, or it would have your
Like
name
your-
card on it.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
you go to the seating chart, and it's this beautiful, like, I don't know, backdrop that has grass on it, and it has like little or a pint glass.
Right,
And you
right.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Has your name on it or something. Something a little bit more customizable. Costs a little bit more money, right? You
Yep.
can't make 150 of them, but you can make 80 of them, and guests can walk away with something that's a
Yep.
little bit more tangible. I saw on Amazon they have like custom frosted cups. You could do like
Cool.
a 2-letter names of monograms, so it's like custom
Yeah.
cups. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just feels elevated.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Victoria.
So another one that I feel like is going to be huge in 2025 and maybe even into 2026 is destination inspired themes without the travel. So you're
Mm.
bringing wherever you want your wedding
Yeah.
to whatever city you're in.
Love that.
So me and Angelique have actually talked about doing this for our wedding whenever that day comes. Don't pressure me, Taylor, if you're listening. She asked me the whole time we were in Vegas when we were gonna get married. I don't know. But we love Vegas. Like everyone knows that about us. We absolutely love Vegas.
Mhm.
But we are taking into consideration like our grandparents,
They love
Angelique's-
Vegas too.
Yes, and it's just a little harder for them to travel.
Sure.
Right,
So
right.
we really want to bring Vegas to what we got going
Yeah.
on, and not in a tacky way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
What,
but
you don't
we're
want
just-
Elvis marrying you?
Not really.
Yeah.
but-
You know what I saw? Taco Bell for what was it? $200,
Yeah.
$400.
Yup.
They've got like a marriage package.
Yep.
The bouquets out of mild sauce.
Yep.
It looked cute. You know what I mean? But I
And-
thought, wow,
and-
that's
And a
efficient.
half hour after dinner, everybody's left it because they're all in the bathroom.
Yep. Everyone's like stomachs are growling.
I would love to hear. Do you have any like direction on how to bring, but not make it like tacky? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so when we were looking, we just found things that were like more, how do I explain it? Like different like signage that you can use that's like
Cool.
in Vegas inspired, or
Mhm.
like what you're saying, like poker chips to tell you what table you're at.
There we go.
Or, and not doing it in a way like when we think of Vegas, right? We think like these bright colors, lots of stuff going on.
Sure.
The way we found the stuff that we liked, it was very muted,
Okay.
but still had that Vegas-esque to it.
Love it.
Right.
So, and I mean, depending on what you want to do,
Yeah.
but that's more mine and Angelique's vibe.
Right.
But I'm sure, like, if others were to do this for other cities that they love, like here, I'm seeing like Italy or Japan or
Yeah, and you can do it with the music or I meant you could do
Yeah.
it with the
Oh,
music.
yeah.
yes,
But you could do it with, I'm thinking of the food, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
But
Yep.
yeah, I like what you're saying, like subtle touches that are on theme,
Yes,
as opposed to just blowing out.
Right. Yeah, you're not gonna.
Whatever.
Yeah.
you
Not
know what I mean?
everybody's table isn't gonna be a craps table. that
Yeah,
you're sitting at,
exactly.
right? Like-
Yeah, and we don't want it to feel like casino night at your prom back
Mhm.
when,
Yeah.
we just want it to have that theme because we love it so much out there,
Love that.
but not in a way where it feels tacky or it feels like there's just like a random cardboard cutout of Elvis.
Mhm.
Or like not every table's gonna be a poker table
Mhm.
kind of thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Cool.
what I think is a good one that's
I
gonna
like
come in
that.
2025.
Bringing the city destination to your
To
city.
city. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that's a good one.
That's really fun.
Another one that brides.com has, which I feel like, again, I keep referring back to, I think the last wedding that I did is really showing where things are going, but they talked about floor to ceiling decor,
Oh,
and so I really saw that at that last wedding where they had string lighting over the dance floor with mirror balls hanging off of the ceiling.
Yep.
And then we uplit the space, and they had a checkerboard dance floor. I mean, from top to bottom
yeah.
of that room, it had a touch of decor. Like,
Yeah.
So
I love that.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we see more of that.
Yeah,
I saw like something for like long drapery. I think that could kind of play into it as well.
definitely.
But I like what you're saying. Decor from floor to the top,
Well,
right?
and like at Tamaya in the Cottonwood,
Mhm.
we see that a lot. They bring in, stuff to drape, and they
Mhm.
drape it across the dance floor and all
Right.
that good stuff.
It's
so
a nice blank canvas. They've got that like rectangle, that
yes.
square rectangle to hang drapes, and then a bunch of white walls to just uplight. And
yeah,
I've done a lot of cool things in that room.
yeah.
Yeah, and that room kind of you almost have to because it feels like a warehouse in there.
It is very
Definitely.
bland, but it's a blank canvas, which
Yeah.
is nice. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of venues that you can't even paint
Definitely.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the little things, like even what you're saying about the lit up dance floor, like how awesome is that rather than just like your regular
Wood
wood,
floor.
flooring that they
Mhm.
put together.
Yep.
That's been used for 20 years, you
Yeah.
know? It really really adds a little something to it.
Right.
Sindra wants to see how much it costs to get Prairie Star to remove their dance floor and put in a checkered for the night. I was like, oh my god, that's fine. I'm not against it.
Is
That's where
there?
I'm at.
I can't remember. Is it a permanent?
I'm pretty
dance
sure it's
floor?
permanent. Like
Yeah.
it,
So you well, I mean, so
I
you
don't
could
know.
probably just if it is permanent, then you probably just can go over the top of theirs.
Yeah.
FNA.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, that's actually
Hopefully.
might be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, something to check on. Cool. You got another one?
Let's see. I thought this was interesting. Like different styles of guest books. You know, this is interesting because you and I saw both ends of the rotary,
Right.
in and out.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's in or out. I've noticed the confusion with the voicemail phones.
Yes.
Guests don't know how to work it. I'll explain it to them, but then I've seen that as a big complaint. But it's still kind of out there and still happening. But one that I liked was a coffee table book that was like from Santa Fe, from Albuquerque,
That's
Old
cool.
Town Albuquerque, and then they sign the pages on there. So then you leave it out, and then you can kind of oh look.
I
Yeah.
think I've seen that in multiple places where the out trend is to get away from the traditional guest book
Yeah.
and doing something different. I've heard mixed reviews on the actual like the phone
Yep.
I believe
book
it.
because
Plus, how do
people
you-
don't use it.
How do you consume it? You're just gonna sit there for an hour and
Right.
just listen to voicemails?
Exactly.
I don't
Yep.
know. It could be great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Like, so number one, I don't think people doing it because people don't know what to do, and
Yeah.
it's different than being prompted, like kind of, I guess, with on a video or something
Sure,
like that. So
yeah.
I don't really know what to do and what to say, and it's kind of weird. And then yeah, you're right. Like, how do you consume it? It almost reminds me of back in the day when somebody used to go with a camcorder and film 8 hours of footage, and
Yes.
you don't ever go back and look at all
I
that.
low key want that. I want Jarson to get a digital camera and like a nice audio recorder. We'll just get a nice wireless one. We have them, right? The DJIs, and then you
Yeah.
record on something old school, vintage, and you get shout outs that
love
look
that.
vintage but are they look cool.
Yes.
I think that could be so cool. I don't know why I nerded out over that, but you're right. When they would do the wedding videos and just as it was like a POV on
Right.
the wedding day
Yeah.
for 8
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just to go back. Nobody would ever go back and watch their VHS tapes for 5 hours.
And I've been seeing on like TikTok and stuff, people are doing their like wedding content in like the style of like if it's like a club promotion, if that makes sense. Like
Oh,
just super fun. Everybody's turned like
Yeah.
they're passing glasses around,
Yep.
and it's like
Seen
kind
that.
of like just different stuff.
what I like is I've been seeing it on the ends was a content creator for your wedding day.
Yep, that's what I actually
So-
had. Is I expect us to see a lot more of that. I haven't personally seen a content creator, at least not that's been pointed out to me
I would love it.
at one of our events.
Yeah.
But I know this is a big sweeping thing just over across the country, and I think we're going to start seeing more of that too.
It's
I could see
interesting
that.
though because is it turnaround time? Is
That's
it
what
the
I was
instant
gonna say,
gratification? Because
yep.
what is photo and video are gathering and creating content,
Yep.
but it does take
No, but
a
it's
month or two.
different because I think your content creator is going to get. It's kind of like what we want, right? Like behind the scenes and all of
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And so you're going to
a
get.
little more.
And the
Not less-
turnaround time too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, how much time does it take
Airdrop.
to airdrop it? Get it edited and done. In opposed to like with the photographers,
Yeah.
the videographers, like
They do real work. And
they
it
they
takes
do.
time,
Yes,
so-
they do real work, and not that content creators
Yes,
don't.
excuse me. Yeah.
But like it's just different,
Mhm.
right? It's just clipping different sections
Yeah.
and stuff, and really you get like a minute and 30, if even that.
True.
So it's a little bit more condensed and easier to put out.
Yeah, more digestible
Yeah.
portions of the
And I
evening.
like how you're saying it's behind the scenes.
Right.
Yes.
A little less cleaner. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Not as, I don't know, formatted or I don't know
Yep.
what the right word I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And they can use sepia filters on their
Yeah.
and googly eyes.
Yeah.
on you.
But I like that. I like those content creation. You might have better photos or like what I want to do too is
Yeah.
I 2 digital cameras that I have and she has, and we just tell our story through the day.
That's cool. Yeah.
I think that
That's
could be
that's
really fun.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm interested to see how it all pans out. Just because I think having been through a wedding myself, although it was 20 years ago.
See, that's interesting. Is you got married before you got into the game.
Right.
I've been in the game for 10 years, and now I'm like, okay, we're doing it right.
But
Like
Yeah.
I'm making sure we're prioritizing funds in a certain way.
well, but I'm talking about like when you're talking about doing stuff that you guys are gonna try to focus on during the day. Like I said, I'm interested to see how it really pans out
Yeah.
because you're just pulled in so many different directions, and that day goes by
Definitely.
so fast
Yeah.
that I know for me, I couldn't have a camera and worry about doing stuff like during the day, just because
Yeah.
I would.
That's interesting though, because I think we've grown up in different
And right,
phrases or times in life.
totally.
You know, the
Yeah.
camera. I grew up with. Remember the flip camera?
Yeah.
Or little MP4 cameras.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and now we have the phone. We're all documenting our lives, and
Right.
but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I do like to not be on the device as well, and sometimes I feel
Yeah.
checked out when I'm taking photo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what like
So it's that balance.
that's what my like
Know
I
what I
said.
mean?
I'm just interested to see how it really what you
Yeah.
guys decide to do, and then how you do it, and what the experience ends up being
Yeah.
for you all.
Yeah.
A lot of it's going to be in the after party as well. Our open dance will maybe be an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe,
Yeah.
because we're done at 10, and then I'm pushing everybody to the house party after.
Dope.
We got a Airbnb, or we don't have it yet, but we as soon as we can book it, we're booking it, and it's like got a heated pool.
Nice.
And so that's where I'm really like emphasizing. I want people to go there after.
Yeah.
Let's have fun. Let's party. It'll be a good time. So
Cool.
Cool. Another one on the list here is that brides.com is saying that food is number one. That basically people are putting a priority focus on the menus.
I like that.
Which is I'm interested to
that's
see.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. My argument has always been you're not going to remember how the chicken tastes, but you're going to remember how you felt at that dance party.
Yeah.
It's very
For
true.
sure.
But maybe they're taking that into heart, right? A lot of your wedding food is pretty standard.
Yeah.
Chicken, steak, or fish.
And I know me, like if I go to an event, I personally remember the food. Like I'll go home and be
Whether
like,
it's good or bad.
that was
right?
the most
Oh, wow.
disgusting
Yeah,
food
that's
I've
fair.
ever had. Or like at La Fonda, we're like, oh my God, that was
Well, La Fonda, yeah.
incredible. You know,
Or
like
Los Poblanos, you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah. So I think in that way most times about food.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. Was something that I saw on another post that they talked about floating dinners, which I had never heard that terminology before. But I guess what a floating dinner is basically having it's the fancy way of saying food stations.
Oh.
You know, around, and so they expect to see more of that in 2025. Floating dinners where you don't have sit down, you just have stations kind of throughout the.
They got
event
like one
space.
guy cutting prime rib. They got another guy like making you custom pasta dishes.
I like that.
Another guy flambeing your creme brulee.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it. I like how that can work. I think I was telling you earlier, the only con is it takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But as long as you're not worried about that extra maybe 30 minutes or so, because they're individually making orders for 100 people.
Yeah.
So they took forever.
But I guess if it's spread out, I guess it depends on
it's
how
spread
many
out.
people you have
They
and
had
how many
two.
stations.
They had 2 stations. So
Yeah.
I would if you're going to lean into stations, I'd go like 4 or 5
Yeah.
and make it like individual. That way you can spread them out
For sure.
and
Yeah.
be a little bit more efficient, I guess. I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know.
But I like that a lot. I like floating stations. I think that's a fun way to just like elevate the experience. And at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's a buffet, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's a buffet where you get to walk a lot.
Definitely.
What else you guys got?
I got edgy and alternative type weddings.
What does that mean?
So more punk rock inspired, more
Cool.
gothy, lots of blacks,
Black wedding
lots
dresses.
of red. Yeah, lots of just darker themes, if that makes sense.
Totally.
And I
Which is interesting because that goes complete opposite of the whole
Yeah.
color.
Color,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and
See, I
I
told you.
and also too, like I think that is coming from like my age demographic getting
Sure.
married now.
Emo vibes.
Emo, yes, everyone was emo, and a lot of people
yeah.
are still in that, and a lot of people are still with their Doc Martens and that vibe. So I can see this, and I've seen it with celebrities too. Like, Kat Von D and her husband documented their whole wedding,
Mhm.
and it was like everything was red. It was like so cool.
Didn't
But
she get rid of, this is a total side subject, didn't she get rid of all her tattoos?
yeah, she blacked them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
That's her,
Terrible.
well, and that's her entire body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm interested to see if that really
I
hits.
could see it. I could see it. I saw
yeah.
a bride. I had one bride last year have a black dress and more on that darker vibe. So
Definitely.
when I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen it. It's coming.
And then that goes to what's on the playlist because they want their punk. They want their
Punk's hitting.
yep. They want that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
that
see-
can
I see
tie in
what
with
you
the
did
music
there.
Yeah.
No, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That ideal person, that bride and groom, grew up in that 04 to 08 time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now they're in the prime couple
Exactly.
marrying age.
Yep.
I said it,
My Chemical Romance on loop.
dude.
Yeah.
I've never played Ohio is for Lovers, Hawthorne Heights. That was the final song, and I was like, for real, you want this? I love the song. I'm an emo kid through and through, but there's no way you want to hear this.
Yes.
And they wanted it, and they loved
Definitely.
it, and Mr. Brightside is still alive and well.
Yep.
I have a feeling that song will die soon.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
one
Played.
is
Is
hit.
making his way up.
Well,
Well, what I mean by that is my bride literally told me yesterday that has to be the final song. And
Okay.
that's a common trend that I still see. But
Yes.
because it's so common,
right.
it's about to, it's
It's
Starting to get
definitely-
Bruno Mars vibes, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been seeing Ocean Avenue become
Oh, yeah.
like
Mhm.
the Mr. Brightside a little bit.
nice. I
Like
love
I've
that.
played that a few times at
Um,
my weddings last year, and it
Sugar,
seems
We're
like
Going Down, Fallout Boy.
yeah,
That one
yep,
too.
Yep.
I think that one's like a big one. Or My Own Worst Enemy,
Yep.
Lit.
Misery Business by
Yes,
Paramore. That was
yes,
another
that's a
one
good
that
one.
they wanted played.
I'm trying to think of just the pop punk bangers.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
I need more cute. I need
Good
more
Charlotte.
cute without the E though.
Cue without the E. I
That's-
did that.
That's
I think I
one
told
that
you.
I'm surprised. Like when I have the pop punk peeps, like I'm surprised that one's not requested more.
Yeah.
The groom was very skeptical to request Taking Back Sunday.
Oh.
And I was like, well, don't be. I'd always tell him, request whatever you want. We could remix it. We'll play it. We'll make it work.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I remember playing Cutest without the E, and they were like, what? I should have recorded it. But
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that's like an underrated,
yeah.
Definitely.
emo vibes
Yeah.
track.
See, everything we're talking about, that was all pretty much last year. And I could see that just
Just getting
continually
yes,
being
yes.
amped and
Getting
bought
more
into.
popular.
Yeah. I've also been seeing just like classic rock being remixed more. You seen that?
Same here. Yep.
Yeah. You know,
Same here.
just more of like I'm trying to think of songs that would hit, but like Wookie does it a lot. He does
Mhm.
like songs that should
Yeah.
can't
Yep.
be released or whatever, but like AC/DC, Def Leppard, these guys are getting remixed and it's sounding really fun right now.
I'm interested to see what do you guys expect for our music trends. Let's talk a little bit about that, into 2025. I mean, do you think like the Chapel Rowans and Sabrina Carpenter thing is going to keep going?
I think ladies are still alive and well in
I
terms
agree.
of like pop lady vibes.
Because I
Yep.
feel like they owned last year.
yeah,
Yes.
they own the Grammys. You know what I mean? They were all over the Grammys.
And I think they're only gonna get better.
Yeah.
I think pop music is only gonna get better, and I really, 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 really hope. Well, it kind of already is back, but I hope it continues to get bigger and bigger. Like it
Last year
used
was
to
pretty
be.
good.
It was great.
Like last year, for I think music wise and new music is the best year that we've had in
yes.
Yeah.
like a long time, like 6, 7, 8 years. Like as far as like actual mainstream top 40 dance music,
Mhm. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm ready for it to go back to like progressive house dance, like
Yeah.
the Zeds, the Martin Garrixes. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I love that.
Yeah.
But we'll see if it goes back. I hear that that's where they're going for dance. Like Chainsmokers is coming back this year. There's a lot of like big progressive house
Yeah.
DJs. But we'll see where the sound goes.
Right.
I always tell couples, I'm like, we're talking about music right now, but there's gonna be a song in August that's gonna hit. You
Yep.
know what I mean? We didn't
Right.
know. We don't know what it's gonna be, but I guarantee you're gonna want it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
But it's
Yeah.
cool. I like where pop
And
music's
and
at.
I'm interested to see where Latin comes in.
There is Latin right now.
into what-
Bad Bunny's still alive and well,
Yeah.
but is
That's
he?
pretty much it.
It's
right?
just
Exactly.
not
I
in
mean,
my personal, experiences. It's just not hitting like you think it would. Like you hear a new Bad Bunny album, you hear songs off of there, and you said, "Oh, this is gonna ring off in the club. Everyone's gonna love this," and not a single soul knows what's going on.
Yeah,
and they're
I think
very
certain
confused.
songs need like time to like
Yeah,
build up.
And I think it's just Latin music in general. Like every, and not in a mean way. Like I love Latin music. I absolutely love like Bad Bunny, J Balvin, all those guys. But when you listen to reggaeton, the repetitiveness
Yeah, the Afro beat.
becomes
Boom, boom,
very
boom, boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
Yes,
It's
weird.
that all
Yep,
day.
all day. So it kind of makes it all sound like the same
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
mixing it, when you're putting it in. It kind of just gets really, really, really repetitive.
See,
Right.
it's interesting that you say that because you could argue that for any genre. I get told that for house music. I'll get told that for like a death metal, a Day to Remember. Not even death metal, but like emo. They'll be
Yeah.
like, it all sounds. I can't understand it. And so it's like, I guess people want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at a certain extent, when I'm at a house show, I don't want to hear bass music, and it is almost in that the whole time.
Definitely.
But like, yeah, how do you? Because you're not wrong. What bugs me about like Bad Bunny songs and like these Latin songs is they have the slowest start.
Yes.
There's no backbeat, and it's just them talking, and then it goes into and that's the hype of the
Yep,
song.
yep.
But
Right.
You're
Yeah,
so
that-
right.
that's always the biggest
The
challenge.
whole minute and a half of that
Yeah.
track is
Is
not usable
Nothing.
for us
They're
on
just
the dance
talking.
floor.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely. And you
It's,
can
it's a story. That's
and you could feel it. Like when you
Yeah.
play these certain tracks, that whole section you're talking about, everyone's kind of just standing around, kind of vibing.
Waiting.
And then boom, it hits and everybody's like this. And then the other half is the same thing. It's slow.
Yeah.
Everybody's chilling, waiting. And that, like, for us is not good. Like
Yeah.
in terms of dance
it's
floor.
not.
Yeah.
It kills your dance floor
Anything-
energy.
Positive
Kills it.
momentum.
Yep.
Basically, you
Yep.
know, there's ups and downs throughout an event, but you know, you
Definitely.
gradually you want to go up,
Yeah.
down, up, down, up,
Yep.
down, up, right? And
Yep.
so, yeah, if you have those moments, that's just killing your dance floor. It's not going to help. you.
Yeah. And then the Latin community just doesn't want their favorite song remixed. Like
Oh,
we've learned
amen.
that. Like
Oh,
they don't
my
want
gosh.
a remix
so
to
true.
what
So right.
to whatever. You know, they just want the original and that's it. Don't you dare play a remix.
Yep.
Do you
to
find
your
that you're
favorite-
playing the full length, half of it? Are they getting mad at you for playing too much of it?
Too much, yeah. They're not. They want it in. They want it out.
Yeah.
Want it in. They want it out. Like, and it's just
believe it.
very fast paced. So like when
we
we
live
do,
in the age of instant gratification.
It's getting quicker.
it's
too.
getting quicker. Yep, and it's interesting. I mean, it's very interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'll DJ for like some kids events and different things, and like you play these songs and they love it, but you're like, we have to get there, so you have to play a little bit of the beginning of there,
Yes.
and they're just like looking at you as if you're
as if
like,
you're an actual band.
yeah,
Can't you play your horns faster?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just interesting how it works out. But
Definitely.
I love where your head's at. Where is Latin music going right now? Where
Yeah.
was it last year?
Anybody
It
know?
was
Put it in the chat. Put it in the
Yeah,
comments.
yeah,
let
let
us
us
still
know.
playing Mi Gente and Gasolina. so.
Yeah. Yep.
Kidding. No, I mean, for us, Selena will never die.
Salinas
Salinas.
Yep.
por vidas.
We haven't heard anything from Shakira in a while, huh?
She
due.
was at the Grammys and played. So she I think performed a new song.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Her. I miss J-Lo.
I always miss J Lo.
Yeah. Well, she's been on the up, down. Everybody hates her for
E-
some reason.
exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
She's
but-
one of those artists that's like so sentimental to my childhood
Yeah.
that I could like never just let her go completely.
I don't.
like,
Maybe she's working on something now that she's not married again.
Well, and she had an album
there was that.
in
That was the whole thing.
2022 or 2023 and it was called This Is Me Now. And I listened just to listen. I mean, I'm a DJ, like
Yeah,
I want to
of course.
hear. There was some really good songs on there. I was
agree with that.
surprised. I was like, "Whoa, this is good." Like, and it felt like old school J-Lo.
Mhm.
Like it kind of felt like stuff that you would hear back in the 2000s, which I liked.
But it
so-
never took off.
never took off. Yeah, and I think that comes with everything she's got going on.
Nowadays, it's so interesting how we perceive popular people, celebrities,
Yep.
actors, musicians. Who was it? I can't remember the name, but he was an actor, and he was getting upset that now he's not getting movie roles because he doesn't have a certain following.
Yep.
And he's like, when did not being a good actor or being a good actor not be
Definitely.
enough?
I mean, we see that in our world. You
Yeah.
know, if you got 100,000 followers, you're gonna get the gig over somebody that's extremely talented, which
true.
is truly a sad concept.
Right.
It's frustrating, and I mean, it just goes to the work that we'll try to put in to build the followers and all that good stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of talent that gets put to the wayside
Definitely.
just because of a number or something. So,
And I've been seeing too, like with couples, with like just back to what you're saying about like celebrity drama and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's couples that want Taylor Swift, but Taylor's version because they don't support Scooter
Yeah.
Braun.
Yes.
Or they don't want any Diddy because of this.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
not play anything that came out of the bad boy camp. Like, and it's
Right.
so interesting because, you
Right,
know,
cancel culture.
cancel culture's alive and well. And even in what we're doing
It's
here with
important
the
for us.
weddings.
Yeah, it's
they
super important for us to
Yep.
be tapped in that.
Yep. I literally had someone request a bunch of Taylor for their wedding,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. And the bridesmaids came up to me and they're like, "This is Taylor's version, right? Like you were playing like and supporting her remakes rather than supporting,
Yeah.
the rights to her music that Scooter Braun owns."
I
which is
believe
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
I believe that fully. I did a Taylor Swift night months ago, and both my fiance and her friend were like, "Make sure you're playing those Taylor versions."
Yeah.
They were like, "Do not
Yep.
mess around and play those other ones." And it's fine. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you have
Like
the
I'm
right
playing
one.
remixes anyway. How you gonna?
Yeah. How would
No,
you
they
know?
know.
Yeah.
They know.
know.
It sounds different. If you're a fan, yeah, I've heard it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I've heard it too.
But it's not. I get it. I understand.
And I try to
completely.
support in that aspect. Like I totally understand. Like she doesn't even own the rights to her own music. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But like in terms of that, like I do try to support that. Or even like, anybody's wishes. Like when my couple comes to
Of
me,
course.
I always tell them like whatever you desire, I am here to execute on that.
Mhm.
So if you say no Diddy, we won't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you say no songs that aren't Taylor's version, we won't do that.
Mhm.
Like whether you know it or not, you know what I mean? I want to just execute on their wishes, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Super important to make that we're there for them. We're there to serve them as the
Definitely.
DJ, and I think we do a good job at like weeding out the ones that we want and don't want. So
Yep.
then when we're delivering our overall service, it's just exactly what we know, the music we like. and
Definitely.
It's just way easier. you know?
Definitely.
Anything else to kind of wrap this up on trends? Anything that's outs-
Signature scents. I thought that was cool.
like scents, like as in smells?
Yeah, like walking into a place and having a signature scent.
So it's interesting that you said that because I noticed with a couple of our corporate events, they put out exactly that, like scents that they wanted it to smell. They wanted the room to smell a certain way.
Yeah.
Like I noticed that with a corporate event. I could totally see that happening
Yeah.
with our weddings.
They talked about touching all of your senses on a wedding day. That maximizes the experience, right?
Okay.
When you're able to recognize a smell and associate that with, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's certain smells that
So
just
it's like-
remind me of Disneyland.
So when
Yeah.
when you and Angelique get married, I'm expecting to walk into cigarettes and weed.
Yep. That's right.
That's
So it's actually funny because there's a company that makes candles that smell like the inside of the Cosmopolitan, that smell like the inside of the Bellagio. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Look into that.
Yeah, that could be something.
Find your favorite
you know?
casino.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then one more thing I thought was super interesting because it's an overall trend I see is non-alcoholic drinks and signature non-alcoholic
it.
drinks. You
Love
know
it.
what I mean? There's drinking is down by like 20% or something like that from
Yep.
overall Gen Z. They're only getting older and going to be married. So
Cool.
I thought that was an interesting trend.
I love that.
What's interesting though is like non-alcoholic weddings have never been successful for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I haven't had a problem with it, but it definitely obviously it helps for obvious reasons.
Well,
on the dance
Definitely.
floor.
It's not. They didn't have like signature non-alcohol. They didn't like buy into that experience.
Yes.
They just said we're not serving booze at our wedding.
Right.
And it was
Wow.
a dry wedding.
That's
It
interesting.
sucked.
Yeah.
I remember specifically going to each individual table and saying, "What can I play for you? Is there anything?" Like, there were so many people seated. This was a while ago, but it still scars me because I told them like
Definitely.
it's you need to have something. I don't know if you do or don't.
you
but-
got to pump in the fun, regardless.
Yeah, it's
even
it's
if that's
tricky.
with alcoholic drinks, food, whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go. I like what you're saying.
And I
Pump in
think
the
I don't
fun.
know. At the end of the day, it's about setting expectations too, right?
Yep.
So, and I think if most people, you would hope, would understand by not having alcohol, just it's going to take more effort on. If you want people to be on the dance floor, whether alcohol or not, I need you as the couple to be out there and lead the charge.
That's it. yeah.
Definitely.
So, and if you're not willing to do it, then that's fine. Let's just set the expectations that most of your guests are probably just going to be.
Yep.
It's going to be a nice, chill.
Yep.
Mhm. Guess where the bride and groom were all the day. They went to their room to take shots. They would. Yep.
Oh, wow.
I'd be like, where are they at? And they're like, oh, they're drinking in their room. They'll be back in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-sabotage.
So I got one more, just briefly.
Love it. Let's
Right,
hear it.
bring
and
it.
that's it. And I really like this one, and I've seen this one as well. Like sustainable and eco-friendly things brought into the wedding.
Sure.
Yeah.
So reusing vases, reworking a dress that was given to you by your grandma.
Yeah.
Just very sustainable and really, really cool. And even
Digital photos.
digital photos, exactly. I saw one of my couples at the end of the night had me make an announcement for everyone to take the flowers that were on the table.
Oh yeah.
So take the flowers, take them home, put them out and about rather than, everything just goes in the trash. And I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that.
Only people that drive Teslas invited to your wedding. Yeah.
No.
That's funny.
Oh man.
The actual opposite.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, this is a good first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Great episode.
What's on the playlist? We're looking forward to doing this weekly.
Yep.
That's the goal. I don't know if that's sustainable, but
Right.
but that is our goal to
Well,
be
that-
here
That
weekly
was the
with
idea.
you
Is if we focus on one topic, we're not straining ourselves thinking of 3 separate things for one
Absolutely.
episode.
But we are still going to incorporate the elements from the Cutmaster Cast, like
course.
Yeah.
I feel like we have an
like the
elevated grab
and-
bag now. We have a new grab bag that's gonna be better than
Yes.
just watching clips.
That's right.
Yep.
We'll
You
save
just
it.
you just wait. You wait and see people.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
We've got some surprises for you. So, all right, good first episode. We are going to take it out on that, and we
Yep.
will see you
Yep.
guys next week.
See ya.
Later.
Thanks again.
What's on the playlist?